If this planet has a name, if you could send me that.
Yeah, it totally does. Let me get that for you right here.
Just quickly
It
generate a
is
name.
That sounded
uh,
really facetious.
Screen Clenar, the planet Screen Clenar.
Look,
Go
real
away.
life astronomers.
He's not too far off. It's from Samsunga.
I hate this.
Right.
Was it discovered by the great Starfleet Captain Maxwell House?
On the planet Asus 6.
Go on.
In the Linux Nebula?
Yeah.
I mean, look. Real scientists
Which
name
is in
things like
the Red Bull
Alpha Psi
constellation.
3719. So, like, naming it after a company is barely a step down from that.
No, it's like the bit in Spaceballs where he says they found me on a monastery in the Ford Galaxy.
And on the
Oh,
back
God
of
damn
that
it.
lovely note, hello everyone, I'm AD Springer, also known as Corbinian. This is the Electric Metropolis video game tour, and tonight, doing another episode of Star Trek Return to the Frontier, following the adventures of the USS Andromeda in the original series timeline. Very, very, very early on. Kirk isn't even a proper captain yet, I don't believe. Yet.
He's a
Pines-
Still,
lieutenant.
lieutenant.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're in Strange New Worlds territory.
Yeah.
Ish, yeah.
So, I believe nothing bad's gonna happen because nothing bad happens in any of these episodes. And with that, I'll give it to the GM to break that promise.
Okay, your log is updated. Go ahead.
Cool. Let me just see that. Oh, cool. That. Cool. Ready. Chief Medical Officer's log, stardate 1244.7. We have arrived at the monastery of the Unburdened Katra on Surak's retreat. The monastery is a unique spiritual site for the Vulcans, where pilgrims live in harmony with the natural world around them. The Andromeda has been assigned to escort a supply ship to the monastery and to provide any medical services that the monastery may need. Although the captain has been instructed that we are not to act without permission of the planetary government or 10th Fleet Command. Though outwardly isolationist, as many Vulcan monasteries are, they do not appear to shun the outside galaxy or the latest scientific developments. I'm sure this will be a relief to those among the crew, who I'm sure will likely petition the captain for a little more shore leave on the planet's surface once our primary mission is completed. End log. And I will edit the log to match what I wrote.
All right. We find the Andromeda taking orbit over planet Surak's retreat, trailing slightly behind is the merchant vessel Essex, a ship, though small in terms of merchant vessels, several times your size, which carries much of the supplies you are to deliver, because although you are a Starfleet ship which can provide aid to this colony, you have very limited space. So you get a communications ping. Griffin, that Captain Harral of the Essex has a few tasks he needs to complete before he can start unloading, and that he proposes to meet y'all on the planet's surface.
Captain, I got word from the cargo jockeys over there. They've got a couple things to wrap up and want to meet us on the surface.
Excellent. Excellent. We shall depart for the surface in short time.
I'll relay an affirmative message.
Are we planning on beaming down, or are we planning on landing?
Correct me if I'm wrong. The ship is completely fine with landing, right? Because it's a small ship.
It is.
All right,
Yeah,
then
archers are meant to land.
yeah, then she's going to say, take us into the designated landing spot at your leisure, Helm.
With pleasure, Captain.
I'll take before landing. I'll take Reason Con difficulty 1, assisted by the ship's sensors con, is you have to actually find where that spot is.
Atmospheric flight or navigation as a focus?
Atmospheric flight, that you know that there are very few habited planets which like anyone flying anything without some sort of
Yeah.
control system in place.
Aircraft control. This is yeah.
I request you make at least 2 momentum.
Okay.
Yay, we finally have our humans again.
Put bells on them.
I will. I'll send a
Actually,
threat for a third die.
Oh, sorry. This
arguably
is
can
a
assist with sensors.
this is a 3-threat game.
Ooh,
Oh.
Oh,
danger close.
Hmm.
Then I definitely want at least the 2 momentum because I feel like this talent will be useful.
Yeah.
I think since we don't land that often, Revere would probably be down here in the landing gear bay on C deck,
Yeah, supervise. Make sure nothing happens.
just in case something goes sideways and I need to, I don't know, patch a hydraulic line or something.
Wait, does that not even work for me anymore? Okay.
Both dice land because it's a sensors roll.
All right. You're able to connect the computer to the automated landing system, which should help you land. The only problem is the computer does not have an Archer class equivalent in its computational memory. The ship, your guess, the ship entered service since the last time the colony has had a proper Starfleet flight officer come by to calibrate their system. And so this will have to be entirely manual. But you at least know where they intend for you to land. Control Con difficulty 2, assisted by Structures Con.
Did we make momentum off of that roll?
Easily.
You
I got
made
6 hits.
5 momentum.
Yeah.
I said, hope we made
There's something
momentum
more
off
momentum
that.
for.
As long as we
Yeah.
keep 2 of it by the time we're landed. Like, I'll let you finish all your stuff, but
All right. I'll
worst
spend
comes to
one for
worst,
third
I can just make some.
die. Yeah. Yeah. So could I if you need it.
Yeah.
Now you can. Sorry, what was that?
I'm speaking for my third die on the second roll. Atmospheric flight is a focus again, I believe.
Yes.
What's the
All
ship
right.
assist?
Need structures con.
Structure. Con. Nada.
Generate.
Actually, one of those may be it because what's your con?
5.
Then yeah, then that second. Oh, sorry. It's only a. It rolled false, so I had to check actually. But
Yeah.
yeah. Okay, those are both misses. All right.
Just making sure everyone was awake. Totally wasn't a mistake.
I believe you.
Huh?
You have to be infallible, Corby, or, why else are we here?
As the merchant ship Essex travels in orbit of the planet, y'all land just outside a large village, a coastal village. You land in what seems to be agricultural land that's been recently harvested.
Okay. An empty field.
right.
Before we leave the ship or anything like that, I want to spend 2 momentum for the expedition expert.
Okay. Trying to actually use momentum for this time.
Yes. Trying to actually use this ability this time. So congratulations. Any member of the away team may re-roll a single d20 on any task to navigate the terrain or circumvent a hazard or obstacle. This
love
is
that
a
talent.
number of times. Total number of dice in this way equal to my science rating, so 4.
Okay, so I'll put in the scene guide above traits 5.
We have 4 rerolls. For
We will never need those.
ideally not, but
Why? I thought you have a score of 5, so isn't it 5 rerolls?
no, I've got a score of 4.
Oh, okay.
Some of us aren't tryhards, No.
I went for science 4, command 4,
Okay.
security con 3.
My security.
All right. Y'all
I'm a
are
flexible exo.
So,
on the ship.
I was about to
Um,
ask if we know what the various clusters of buildings were.
Yeah, that was going to be my
No.
next roll.
You don't. What I gave you was what is easily noticeable on navigation sensors.
Yeah, so while Vernie is preparing away the expedition, can I use the sensors and my knowledge of the Vulcan architecture and whatnot to look around and see what is within this village?
I can't actually move Edmund Vernie's token.
Oh, hold on. This is a work in progress to fix these.
I can move mine. It's called the captain's privilege.
I can
Move
also
yours too.
I can also move mine. Doctor's
Yeah,
privilege.
I can move all of your tokens.
I can
You
also
should be able to
move
move
the
yours
captain,
now.
but I can't move mine.
Yeah. Yeah, the humans can't move themselves.
Yeah.
You'll have
And
to
Vernie,
go-
you should be able to move yourself. Oh, hold on. I have to
I cannot. Oh,
Oh, you're both dead now.
try now.
nope, still can't actually move myself. Nope. Nope. Nope, now I can. That worked.
Woo!
Yay.
Yay!
Oh, yours even has a name.
How do we
Yeah, look at
leave the
that.
ship? I mean, where's the exit on this bad boy?
Oh,
Yes, it's orange
that's
thing.
there's a ramp. That's
That?
a ramp.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, it's good there.
Yeah, you're. Sorry, I was not looking at the map when you moved your token. You're sitting at auxiliary phaser control. That's what these two rooms are. The phasers.
No, I thought those might be the landing legs.
No, they're not accessible during flight.
We can also egress through these.
Yeah, that's a normal airlock.
Mhm.
This is the only actual emergency pods. The other ones all have to rely on the ramp being jettisoned.
Is there like a very long disposable ladder we can kick down here for dramatic fight scenes in the future?
No, you're really like that is the most inconvenient way to leave the ship. Like the ship
Okay.
designers very much intended, just walk down the ramp.
Oh, that's
Yep.
true. Because if you opened this onto the ship, you would be on the ship's hull. Okay, you couldn't. Okay, you're right.
If you open this door, you're gonna be like 40 feet
15.
in the air.
It's called the
Yeah.
high ground.
So is this a standard Class M world? Do we need any kind of...
That's what I was going to roll to learn about the
For
system.
free, it is an M-class world.
Mhm.
Yes. Oh, sorry. Let me before I get further distracted. Let me fix Griffin.
I can fix Griffin one shot. Actually, it would take multiple shots.
I don't know if that's a
My immediate
joke
thought
about
was just
medicine
the
or
memes about I can fix her.
or...
No,
You
I
should,
don't think you can.
Griffin, you should be able to move this token.
I cannot.
The humans
Yeah,
refuse
I
to be
can
controlled.
I can still only move the Vulcan's tokens.
Nice.
Oh, and the Doctor. Oh, the people on the bridge, I can only move the Vulcans.
It's very
Okay.
odd.
So
Try now.
I'm gonna try reloading just in case that's because I could not immediately.
That one's movable.
Yeah, try this.
Griffin is not movable.
Yep. That's
Okay.
movable.
Okay. Okay, y'all can all ask all those questions that I forgot that were asked.
I would like to study this planet's with the sensors. I would like to study this planet's geography to learn what we know about what these buildings are and such.
All right. Reason. Engineering. If you are asking what the buildings look like they're made for, if you're asking, well, if you were asking like a sociological question, you wouldn't be scanning, you'd be looking at the database.
Okay, then I would
So-
want a sociological question, which is probably science.
Yeah.
Okay. Try the Vulcan.
No,
Okay.
because on first glance, they don't seem to have built buildings and architecture from a desert world onto a world that, from what you can see so far, is very much, at least they are not in a desert biome. So they have
Okay.
not simply copied Vulcan architecture.
Okay. What's difficulty then?
1,
Okay.
assisted by computers science.
Okay. One momentum, a focus in cultural studies.
Yes.
Awesome. Look at that.
3 momentum, 4 momentum. Yeah, 4 momentum gained. you have a village here of homes and places of work, and communal buildings.
Mhm.
You have buildings up here that look entirely communal and occupational. Several of them have obvious agricultural uses. At the top up here, you have a adapted but still somewhat classical monastery.
Okay. So this place does host both civilians and monks.
Over here, this is a small Type H Federation laboratory. Checking your schedule, the Essex does have a small amount of cargo destined for this place, and this place is listed as a separate thing from this village. Like, some of these materials you assume are going to the village, some to the monastery, some are tools and such that'll go probably to some of these buildings over here. These are all one journey, right? Your log kind of lists like, once you leave this place, then go to this place next and deliver them their stuff.
Separate administrations. Understood.
Yes.
Do we know who administers this building then?
For a momentum. The head and only researcher is listed as Dr. Henri Sato, who is listed as a distinguished geneticist.
Understood. Are there any questions that other people in the group want to ask?
None for me. Not yet, anyway.
The only thing I'm so it's a genetics lab. Is that
it? You don't. That's not how it's listed. It's not. Its purpose and the research going on there is not listed. The fact that it is a standardized science lab is listed, and that the only person working there is a geneticist is listed. But this doesn't seem to be a case of the UFP, like the Starfleet Science Division or the Daystrom Institute sending someone out here and thereby determining what the lab's going to be doing. It's more like, this looks more like a case of someone renowned enough just got carte blanche
to
on
set
a
up
science
wherever the
lab.
hell they want?
Yeah, the kind of thing you get when you're distinguished enough that they can trust you.
So tenure.
Yeah, you could. Yes, this is the lab of a tenured geneticist within the Daystrom Institute.
Okay, good for them.
Okay. Yeah, then I think my last question is the village under the authority of the monastery, or is the village still civilly run?
For momentum.
Yeah, fire away.
Actually, sorry, this has nothing to do with building, so this is a separate task.
Okay, that's fine. Then I think all of my questions have been answered. If other people want to make rolls, they can, but I think I'm ready.
Yeah, Revere would like to check to see if there's any outstanding engineering assistance requests from the colony here that we might be able to help with.
Yes. Reason command, difficulty 0.
You can do it, Revere. I believe in you. Can the ship assist?
Not if he doesn't have any successes.
He did succeed at the task, though.
Oh, you did. You are correct. If he wishes, he can get assistance from the ship's computer's command.
Sure, let's try that.
Wild.
Hey.
1 momentum gained. Yes, there's more work that you could assist with than you could possibly end up assisting with before you'll head off to your next assignment. And that's just because a starship with a tractor beam or a bunch of academy and Mars training facility educated officers and crewmen are way more suited to some of the complex engineering tasks that come up on a colony.
Okay.
A lot of these are like using the supplies that you have brought to raise new buildings, swapping out of aged components on the matter antimatter reactor, and other routine maintenance.
Captain, I'd like to reach out to planetary, the appropriate planetary authorities and offer our assistance on whatever priority engineering projects or assistance they might need while we're here.
Oh, right. And I'd like to maybe check in with their comms and navigation folks, get them updated. I had to come in on autopilot because they didn't know what we were.
Understood. You may engage in both things.
Sweet.
Thank you, Captain.
And Jim, I'm going to look up what the local planetary ordinances are that may be unstandard from normal Starfleet Federation law. Like if they have any unique laws or regulations they have.
Sure. Give me reason command difficulty 2. They are an obscure small system, so finding them in the records is complicated.
And we have yet to actually set foot off the Andromeda yet, right?
No, you haven't.
Okay. Cool.
This is like the 5 minutes after y'all landed.
Cool.
I'll buy a couple dice. Momentum.
A couple on my Aunt Meekrich today.
Well, hey, I'm just following up what my officers put down. Yeah. Good golly.
Gain 3 momentum, assisted by ship's computer's command if desired.
Oh, there we go.
And another.
What was that about momentum? I just got let go, I'll admit it.
I'm just a smartass, man.
They do not have significant deviations from Federation, from Vulcan legal customs when it comes to most ordinances like common criminal law and criminal codes, and most common civil codes. But they do have a unusual governing structure for Vulcan colonies. It seems they do not rely on the system of age and merit for government positions that Vulcans commonly use. Instead, they have a legislative body of all adults who have shown mastery in a field, and a executive from among the young adults. Often the executive is chosen for their drive and ability, but is almost always ends up being less qualified than all of the other leaders who break the kind of running of the colony into things that can wait long enough for votes to be taken, who kind of handled by these citizens who've demonstrated mastery in a subject, and things that cannot wait that long, that need to be solved urgently. And for that, they rely on this younger executive. And there is more there, but that is the base information.
Any areas listed as particularly off limits or requiring special permission to enter, like the monastery or cultural heritage sites or anything like
that? No, there are ordinances about acceptable behavior in certain public spaces, but as long as you don't intend on being intentionally disruptive, you don't see any of those ordinances you'd run afoul of.
Okay. I copy down the pads. I copy it into pads and I hand out a copy to the captain and one to the XO.
Captain nods her head and says, make copies and distribute them to everyone aboard the crew. I do not want any incidents between the crew and the members of this world. Not everyone is Vulcan. However, while in a Vulcan space, we must abide by their interpretation of proper etiquette.
I raise an eyebrow at the word use of "there," and I nod, Captain. Then turn to Yeoman Heron and hand out the pad. Make copies of these and make sure they're distributed to the rest of the crew.
All right, Chief. And he jumps to it.
That's why we have a yeoman.
Yeoman?
Yay.
That's what you call him when you're excited to see him.
The author, I'm from Buenos Aires and I say kill them all. No, this is wrong bug hunt. Wrong bug hunt there.
Right.
Griffin, your console shows incoming communication.
Comm signal, Captain.
Yeah, the captain will, turn around from talking with Aratana, sit back in the chair, and say on screen.
What's that up?
On screen, in a somewhat traditional dress, is a Vulcan woman who's probably in her 60s or 70s. So half the age of not Griffin, the captain, I
Loris.
think.
His Loris is 111.
So not quite half, but close.
Double mine. No, I'm wrong. Anyway.
Wait, is
No, I'm older
Artana
than I
that young?
thought. No, I got my own numbers mixed up. Don't
I
mind
was
me.
about to say a Vulcan who's only in their 40s. Are you even allowed to go to Starfleet Academy yet?
Oh, it's a baby.
She says, "Welcome to the Monastery of the Unburdened Katra. I assume you to be Starfleet."
Yeah, Soloris, who is kind of, gotten used to the presence of being around, non-Vulcans, and therefore is more lax in her following of the ways of Sirac, has seemed very calm and still and trying to be measured today. And she will say, "A wise deduction. We are indeed Starfleet. I am Commander Soloris. I am in command of the USS Andromeda, and myself and my crew are here to assist you."
That is agreeable. I wanted to confirm your ship is unusual and we received no communication. I wanted to ensure you were not a pirate.
I apologize for the lack of a communication. I should have engaged in that beforehand. However, the ship has been. She looks for an excuse and shakes her head, and she just says, "I apologize. It was improper of me." However, as to the ship's design, it is a new class of ship, only very recently constructed. As part of this visit, we can share technical specifications with you if you require further information.
She says, "In furtherance of the acquisition of knowledge, we are interested, though you'll find a lack of star yards that could make any use of that knowledge here."
I suppose that is correct.
We
Right.
will journey to meet you at your ship.
Understood. We shall discuss matters further in person.
She gives a slight nod and the communication disconnects.
Yeah, Soloris lets out a little exhale and she'll stand up and say, "I would like all senior staff to accompany me to the docking bay to the landing pad to meet the monastery, the members of the monastery."
Does this pad that I've just been handed kind of break down who in the government structure I would contact about offering engineering assistance?
No. No, I do not think it. Unless Aratana says that they did based on the information I gave them, then no. There's nothing like a department of
Right.
engineering or a department of transportation or anything. So it would have to be something Aratana tried to advise you on.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I was mainly worried they didn't have any like weird like don't step here laws or something like that.
Well, can I try a quick search on like if I can figure out who I should contact?
Insight command, difficulty 2.
Maybe this is where that milestone into insight pays off. Okay. I'll give you a threat for third dice just for shits and giggles.
All right.
There's how I'm rolling tonight, folks. Oh well.
Oh my god, man.
Nah. You're either supposed to reach out to this executive or this group of legislative citizens, but the executive isn't supposed to deal with long-term matters,
Right.
and no one in this group of citizens is named because it's a class of person rather than like an elected body. So no, it's quite confusing.
Very well. I'm here for a short time, so I'm thinking maybe the executive branch is who I reach out to since they're in charge of short-term things, and whatever we do can only be done while we're here. Maybe I'll ask the monk.
There's probably some intake person who'll help you with that, I would imagine. Captain, might I suggest that
Yes?
Ensign Kaufman mind the ship while most of the officers are away?
Solaris, who seems to have been a little bit distracted and has forgotten that when she summoned the senior staff to include Kaufman, she says, "A wise suggestion, Kaufman. You will remain aboard ship and be in command until the return of the senior staff. The rest of the senior staff."
You guys imagine you get a grin and an acknowledgement from the scarred and eye-patched ensign.
Not generally how you expect an ensign to look.
They're just happy to be here, man.
Hey, he's like a little baby compared to Solaris, so you know, it's all relative.
Yeah, then as I imagine Revere lowers the ramp and y'all exit
Oh,
the
I don't
back
have to
of
roll
the
for
ship. No, it seems to be functional. Probably because the ship just had to be rebuilt mostly.
Yeah.
Oops.
Wait, what happened last week?
There's a video audio log found at twitch.tv.
Walking across a small field towards you is the Vulcan woman who you communicated with. She is flanked by 2 Vulcan men, one of them much older than the other 2 present.
Okay.
And she will approach you and give you the Vulcan salute and say peace and long life.
Yeah, and she will give it back and say, "Live long and prosper."
She says, "We are very interested to see you here at this time. We had not expected that you would venture here until your war was over.
Yeah, Solora suppresses an eyebrow and she says, the war is over. The war has been over for many stardates now.
She says, and the outcome?
Um, in simple terms, status quo antebellum. Not much has changed in the grand scheme of things as far as I imagine you are concerned.
She says, how wasteful.
Indeed. Yes, well, I am Commander Solaris. Commander Solaris, I am daughter of Vorak and Tavala, and she will motion, she will say, with me is my senior staff, including my first officer and science officer, Lieutenant Inverni, my chief of engineering, Lieutenant Junior Grade Revere, my chief of medical, Dr. Tawir, and my chief of the boat, Aratana, and I never remember your title, Chief Operations Specialist, Flight Controller Griffin. She will motion for the group to greet her.
Dr. Tweer gives a slight bow, and also all of you will note that now that we are outside, he has fully spread his wings.
You get to be outside, hooray.
Here's your bird spreading. Wow.
So crunchy.
Grooms? Rude.
She says, it is agreeable to meet all of you. This is former executive Saran. This is Master Kovar. And I am the executive Siva. I believe, Captain, we should discuss the logistics of your visit.
Yes, that would be proper.
Remainder of you, if released by your captain, might wish to accompany my companions here, as shortly Saran here will be demonstrating mastery over the science of choice by demonstration of the game Calto.
Yeah, Solaris will say, my chief of the ship, Aratana, is a quite skilled member of the game. I am sure he would appreciate that greatly. And yeah, she'll say, you are dismissed to the crew, and start walking with her.
Revere will kind of walk by the former executive.
Okay.
Pardon me, sir. A question, if I may.
He says you may.
While our ship is here, my engineering teams and I are eager to offer whatever assistance we can during our time here, but I'm afraid I don't know whom to contact regarding such assistance and what priorities we should address during our stay, if indeed such assistance is even wanted.
He says, you will want to confirm with Executive Siva, but during my tenure, I ensured that a list of acceptable engineering projects was codified. She will be able to provide you with that list and anything on that list still has full authority to be implemented.
Nice, straightforward Vulcan answer.
In other words, the woman you should talk to just went left.
The captain didn't know about this, so she didn't know that you needed this.
That is both correct and unhelpful. How very Vulcan.
Hey.
Perfect.
Hey, we're not always like that. Not all Vulcans.
Oh no.
Anything else from Revere or anyone else?
Well,
Uh,
I'll go try and hustle after the captain and the executive then.
All right.
Use my Cation hunting skills to track them down.
They're in a wide open field, not 5 meters from where you just saw them. So
Perfect prey animal. Anyway,
He's doing the thing where he's like,
there's no
walking
long
slowly, and
grass.
then they look, he freezes.
right, yeah. My shoulders are kind of moving back and forth a little bit.
it's just
So-
advanced.
Where are the rest of you headed to or looking into?
Which one was the Kalto player?
The one that Revere was just talking, the former executive.
Yeah,
Saran.
I'll be following after him.
Okay.
I think Dr. Tweer will stick with the captain.
Okay.
We'll go with Hartana. Why not? That was an interesting invitation. So we'll.
And Griffin?
Time to hijack the ship and fly off and be a pirate.
Exactly. I'm going to overpower Ensign Tamara and seize the ship for myself. No, I'm going to head to wherever I need to go to update their database. Since they've
And
last been contacted.
where is that?
That's a great question, and Griffin actually wouldn't know and wasn't listening during the introductions.
Okay. So,
So I'm not going to argue my character would know this.
Insight Con or so Insight Con difficulty 4, or you could go back on the ship and do Control Con difficulty 1.
I'll try and puzzle it out.
Okay. So yeah, this is you actually just thinking what here looks like a place that would house a communication satellite.
Yeah.
The other one was you actually going and like pinging the satellites.
Uh-huh.
So
Right.
yeah, Insight Con difficulty 4.
Cool. I will give you a threat and spend 2 momentum to roll 4 dice.
Dude.
Okay.
Dude.
These are the important rolls.
Hey,
This
information is power.
hilarious.
And resources. Well, I did make it.
Griffin.
Yeah.
Would you like that to stand?
Still rolling better than me.
Does Inverness reroll help with this? No, I don't think it does.
No, it
No.
does not.
This is not to
Yeah.
navigate or avoid a hazard.
I mean, it's to help them avoid hazards.
It's not the same thing.
Jeez.
Yeah, it stands.
All right. You kind of look off and see 2 decent-sized satellites pointed up in the air. One near the science lab and one near the communal and agricultural buildings. And of the 2, the one at the science lab is smaller, and you're looking for a navigational satellite. You're not looking for a subspace transceiver. So
okay.
you're gonna guess the science lab,
Naturally.
likely.
All right. Yeah, I'll make sure the necessary update is loaded up into some
Oh
sort of
no,
queue.
it's like a 3-hour walk.
Yeah, I can do that.
It's like way over here. Okay.
Can you have free running as a trait or as a
do.
focus?
Yeah. I don't think I'm gonna free run over there.
Free run
alright.
over there.
We run across the Great Plains.
Parkour.
Hey, I'm taking the chance to stretch my legs. It's been a while since we've been on a plane.
So, we turn our eye back to this group. Sevia hands a pad back to the captain after signing it and says, I approve all of these supplies and measures, though this is not a matter of emergency, so it will be tomorrow before you can receive permission to offload anything, as the masters will want to have their say.
Could you elaborate on what that means?
She kind of looks at you and says, yes. I suspect at your age, maybe not yet, but in the future, you will realize that you prefer to be consulted rather than rejected on important matters. They feel the same way.
And so all decisions through this on this planet pass through this council of elders.
Anything that is not pressing.
Understood. Now, then why did this colony request medical aid from Starfleet if said aid was not pressing?
I do find myself curious.
Actually, to where you might be able to speak to that. The colony didn't request medical aid in the sense that they had an ongoing plague, but they don't have like a medical facility that can handle much more than routine illness.
Mhm.
Like the health of this colony relies on a Starfleet ship showing up once every couple of years to handle severe cases, transport people who need greater attention, and things like immunizations to new illnesses that have developed among other Vulcan colonies. Right, there's a lot of routine medical work that is too advanced for them, but on a colony of this size. So
but
actually,
but it's infrequent enough that they don't need.
yes, they have no need to have a doctor who is, a trained specialist in autoimmune diseases, right? Because there may be one person every 10 years that is born that has a condition that would warrant that person to be here. So they rely on someone like you to come by every so often.
Okay.
Do they just stick people in stasis if they're like in critical condition or something like that?
I mean, they do have a medical facility and they do their best, but
They're not specialized.
but a colony who has a population in the tens of thousands can't support a vast medical infrastructure.
Yes. Captain, I think I actually may be able to clarify best my understanding from my reading about this world and its infrastructure. They do not have need of particularly advanced medical facilities due to, well, a lack of need. Should a particularly advanced medical crisis arise, they would call for it, I presume. However, it would appear that they are more or less capable of going protracted periods without significant medical intervention. And this is, I believe, the humans have a similar concept to this. I suppose you could call this the bi-yearly checkup.
Yeah, Solores nods her head at this and says, I see. I apologize for my misunderstanding. If that is the case, sorry, what's this person's title again?
Executive.
If as this is the case, executive, I believe it would be for the best if you showed the good doctor to where your medical facilities are so he can begin treating patients post-haste.
I'll see that everyone who has a condition that could benefit from his expertise is notified. Doctor, you will want to attend to the main hall of the monastery in the morning.
I see. Is there a developing situation there?
No, it is merely the largest place, and you would find the medical clinic very small, with the few dozen people you will need to see tomorrow.
Well, assuming that the clinic is more than 20 square meters, I will consider it an upgrade. No offense, Captain.
I do not take offense. However, I do recommend you begin moving medical supplies to the main hall if you are going to be treating people there.
He nods. Can we see the monastery from here?
Yes, it's on the side of a mountain.
I mean, you have wings. You can fly there.
Yeah, I mean, yes, I can. But also, he just sort of squints his eyes. Can I make out like any fine detail from here?
You might catch me being ignorant about Illyrians. Are Illyrians noted as having particularly? Oh, that you do. You have a whole species ability just about this.
Yes, I do.
So that
This
birds
is
of
why I
prey.
asked. Yep. Keen vision, hearing, and directional sense. I reduced the difficulty due to distance of perception by 1.
Yeah. You can see that actually there's quite a large gathering of people walking up to the monastery at this moment.
Hmm. It would appear that the monastery is seeing a pilgrimage of some sort, I presume.
She says, yes, that is those who are attending the demonstration of mastery that Saran is about to give.
Ah, most fascinating.
Begging,
She's-
oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. She says, the right to participate in the organization of the monastery is not given freely. One must attain mastery to demonstrate one's determination and ability to see in the long term. He is on the cusp of being granted that right.
Begging,
So no, go ahead, Revere.
begging your pardons, Captain, Madam Executive. Myself and my engineering staff are eager to lend whatever assistance we can on any projects where our particular skills and expertise might be beneficial to the colony. I understand that you may have a priority list of such projects that
She says, of greatest concern is that a full repair to the primary satellite system is completed. We have been able to maintain its ability to lend navigational data, but it has been 2 years since subspace transmissions were possible.
Would explain your lack of knowledge around the end of the war.
and
She
GM, do I know if that's an orbital?
She points to it. It's
Oh.
a large towering satellite that sits higher up the mountain.
Oh, like a satellite dish. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
With your permission, then, Madam Executive, and yours, of course, Captain, I'd like to go ahead and gather an engineering team and get to work as soon as possible.
She says, so long as repairs can be conducted without disembarking any equipment from your ship, I still have to, or we still have to see that you're granted that ability.
So
With
to
that-
clarify,
Would that
go ahead.
would that ban extend to basic tools and diagnostic equipment such as, and I lifted up off my side our tricorders here?
She says, the legislation failed to detail the categories of acceptable and unacceptable equipment to disembark. Therefore, I will allow you to disembark anything that is already functional. Anything that has to be built or has to be set up, I judge to be outside of the scope of the authority granted to you.
Understood. Is there a satellite systems engineer I should liaise with?
You will want to speak with Kovar. He has demonstrated mastery over the topic of subspace communications.
Excellent. And begging your pardon for all the questions, Madam Executive, but how might I get in touch with or find Kovar?
She kind of points to the end of the field and says, if you are particularly swift, you might catch him before he's lost in the crowd. Otherwise, you will have to go to his address and wait for him there.
Yeah.
As like, there's like two fields normally used for like growing grains between you and him, but he like, imagine like there's like a bunch of grain fields here.
Right.
Yeah, he's like right here on his way up to the mountain.
Okay.
So it's just like you could either sprint or go to his house and wait for him.
I've been cooped up in a small ship. A run sounds pretty good. Thank you, Madam Executive, Captain, and I take off bounding after him.
No roll. The trait Cation relevant to his trait of Vulcan is going to mean that if you want to, you can catch him in an open field. Yeah, you catch up to him, Arantana, and Inverni.
What's this guy's name again? Koval?
Kovor? Kovor, K-O-V-A-R.
Okay.
It's awfully close to Kavord. He might be a Klingon spy.
Except that there's an A. The last O is actually an A.
Right. Okay, I've got my pocket trivial.
As you run up, Saran asks Aratana, your captain mentioned an interest in Kelto.
You could say that, yeah. We, back in my worlds, in the colony, we play a lot of Kelto to pass time. I've won my fair share of pots here or there. Though I'm not accredited by the mastery system back on Vulcan, unfortunately. We play a variant that's a little different, but, you know, same game all the same. Same principles, same openings, same closings.
He says, do you subscribe to the original 5 openings, or do you take a more modern approach?
I tend to go for a bit more of a modern approach. There's a couple of outer rim openings that you kind of do to simulate to the center rather than trying to simulate the central pillar. So it tends to be a unorthodox from the masters, I guess. But not foolproof. I learned that the hard way 1 or 2 times, but one adapts. That's the fun of it, really. Makes for a better betting game, anyway.
He says, well, I would be... It would be irresponsible to pass up such an opportunity. Perhaps you will lend your skill to the demonstration of mastery.
Oh.
It would certainly be relevant to my petition if a unusual variant, if I could demonstrate a capacity to win an unusual variant.
We'll need to bet on something to make it worth the time. Credit's fine. I'm not gonna be too picky about it.
He says, so being an outlying colony, you require games to have an economic component.
It makes for a bit more fun for non-Vulcans and visitors as well. Sort of I give a glance at the officers next to me. It leads to interesting recreation for interstellar travelers and a sort of economic alternative.
The highly amused, like the double eyebrow raise, highly amused, just looking at Artana trying to explain this one. It's like, oh, it's my fault that you're gambling.
Well, you will find among Orions and the traders of Ferenginar a similar interest.
Ferenginar. Never heard of them.
He says, I have traveled quite a bit to learn to master several games beyond just Calto, and have encountered such economic activity.
I nod at him when he says that.
He kind of looks and says, from your appearance, the fact that you are a moderately ranked member of Starfleet, too young, I imagine, to have established a family, and from the outer colony, the appropriate wager would be 2 slips of gold pressed latinum. That is, if you subscribed to the model of Ferenginar. I do believe your captain would find it quite distasteful to subscribe to the Orion method.
The Nalhar method, one bets as one plays. If you think you're going to win, you bet up. If you think you're not going to, you step away.
A progressive system of bets throughout the game.
Shows one's ability to see into the moment of the game, but also into the future of the game. But it also makes for people who want to get out of a losing situation a little more gracefully. You know, they don't want to lose too much money, and they just want to get out now rather than be pulled apart and watch the sphere grow right in front of them. And they don't know why. It's a little embarrassing. Not that that would happen to you. I'm sure it'll be very competitive between the two of us.
If perhaps you would not be made insolvent,
Nah.
then a opening bet of one strip with one strip increments as required by the rules to advance.
I suppose. Keep it nice and friendly.
He says, "You may correct me if I have misjudged you. I simply judge that any higher increments would risk insolvency on your part."
I don't do the job for the money. I do it because it's fun. But at the same time, you know, no need to be bringing up bars or dust cars or family heirlooms. It gets a little unfriendly once it gets to that point. I mean,
perhaps in the colonies, there are many places where this level of wager would be quite insulting.
I'm not insulted by you yet. I haven't seen you play. Maybe you're a grandmaster I have no hope of defeating. Or you're downright terrible and I don't want to steal your money. We don't know each other yet, so this seems like a friendly way to get to know each other. I'm kind of giving him somewhat a disapproving look, like I'm starting to get a little irritated with him, and I'm not very good at hiding it.
He seems to drop the questions. And at that time, Lieutenant Revere comes running up, drawing attention as he does. Though this is not a very talkative group, I don't imagine.
Oh, I'm still chatty. I'm just giving him looks because he's making fun of my rank and stuff.
I meant when you know, when your Cation lieutenant runs up at, you know, the full gallop or whatever, like
Cation at an open field speed.
Yeah, the three Vulcans and the science officer, you know, are just kind of stare and with raised eyebrows, waiting for him to speak, right? Unless you say something different.
Lieutenant, Chief, sirs, I'm Lieutenant Revere. Mr. Kovar, the executive tells me that you are the person I should speak with regarding urgent repairs needed to the satellite communications arrays.
Yes, the work is authorized. If you have the supplies and the tools, you may join me for the workday tomorrow.
The tools I can carry, but until your legislative body allows us to unload anything that might need to be constructed, as the executive has explained it to me, I won't be able to unload any of those kind of materials. I would, however, very much like the opportunity to look over the facility and what might need repairing so that I can make preparations so that we can hopefully complete the repairs during our short time here.
I cannot give you permission for that. You will either have already received it or been denied it. You may proceed accordingly.
So it's all right if I proceed to the facility?
says, "It is not for me to give you permission. You either have the permission or you do not."
Okay, I have permission to do the repairs as the priority thing, as long as I don't bring anything in. So
If you need a roll, let me know. But if the information has been made available, but if you want me to help clarify, I can give you a roll.
well, the way Revere would be interpreting this is the executive said, you know, that needs to be done. Yes, they would like our help with it, but we can't as long as I don't bring anything that is not already complete and functional in and of itself off of the ship. So my tricorder, my engineering toolkit with the wrenches and whatever, we're good. I just have to wait for permission to bring stuff. So I have permission to fix it when permission to unload whatever I need is given.
Well, it might be.
Which,
my interpretation was that you might be able to do a spot fix or even just diagnostics, and then maybe you
right.
can go, hey, this thing needs a widget of
Right.
this size. Normally, I know you guys don't like this, but hey, can I bring this up? It's like, that's the only way I can fix it, is to bring a thing off the ship. It's like, okay, well, now that you've told us
Right.
what it is you want, that you need, then
So, yeah.
sure, we're okay with it.
I think Revere reads this as, yeah, I think I definitely have permission to go and take a look and suss things out. So
Diagnostics.
yeah. Very well. Could you, is there a particular best route or path up to the facility?
He says, at the base of the monastery, you will find a cordoned path. He says, though it would not deviate too far from my understanding of the capacity of a healthy Cation to find his own path.
It is pleasant to be outside with room to move. Our ship is somewhat small, though an excellent vessel.
He says, you will find increases in elevation to a moderate degree and underbrush, but nothing that would prove too difficult. Any path you choose.
I thank you then, Lieutenant, Chief, and yeah, Revere's off.
And there he goes.
All right.
I start to think people are going crazy inside the ship.
Griffin.
I'm like a 20-something-year-old cat, except in real cat years, that would be like 3.
Zoomies in the morning on the ship was terrific.
Give me
Oh my god.
Control Con difficulty 2 as you navigate the uneven terrain. It does not seem people pass between the village and the science lab frequently at all.
Survival focus?
I believe I have a reroll from
yes.
And then prehensile tail coming in.
No. This is for Griffin to get to the science lab.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You do have a reroll from me available for this one. Congratulations.
Oh, this is also a scene change, so.
I'm performing a long walk. I think the trait human should help here. This is literally the thing we're good at.
It's not that long. It was tens of miles, maybe.
Just
Fair enough.
picture
No.
that you've thrown that spear at the woolly mammoth and it's bleeding out, and you just have to follow it until it dies, and you're fine.
Yeah, we're
Oh
persistence hunters.
man.
This is like maybe 10 miles over uneven terrain. It's not like 50 miles.
Okay.
Cool. I'll keep that in mind for the future.
Decent hike. Pretty decent hike.
Yeah, it's
10
gonna
miles?
take half a day.
Yeah. I was gonna say 10 miles is you can climb you can do a mile in 10 minutes if you're at a good pace.
All right. What was the difficulty again?
2. Survival was
Right.
accepted.
Cool. I will spend 1 threat then.
I hope all that threat spent on you.
Generate 1.
You gain a momentum. Griffin, you arrive outside of a small, modern-looking science lab in a small clearing on a hillside. It has one thin but very tall radio tower, satellite tower.
All right. Does this place look inhabited? For you?
Insight, engineering, difficulty 1.
All right.
I
Definitely
take security at a higher difficulty, but for engineering is 1.
What would the security difficulty be?
2.
Is that worth 2 extra points? I don't think it's mathematically. So yeah, I'm just gonna roll 2. There we go.
Looking around at the door, just looking at the base the components at the base of the satellite, there's some routine maintenance that has been skipped recently, and it's somewhat
All right.
noticeable.
Then I'll head to the lab and see if there's like a call button or anything.
This is a pretty standard construction. You, if needed, are aware of an override code that overrides doors of non-secure facilities in times of emergency. But if you don't want to use that, then there is a call button.
Yeah, I'll just hit the call button. This isn't an emergency. This is just standard operating procedure.
You try the call button for about 10 minutes with no response. Multiple times talking in and waiting, and you never get anything.
Well, I'm gonna head over to the tower then and see if I can pop that open.
Yeah, you walk over, kneel down, open a control box, and notice that, yes, this satellite has rudimentary ability in an emergency to provide communications data. That's not what this satellite is intended use is, though.
Ah, dang.
This satellite's intended use is transmission of large data files to subspace buoys.
Kind of takes a sigh, shrugs, flips open her communicator, and says, "This is Griffin to Ensign Kaufman?
You
You
get
got it.
static.
Oh, okay. I can. I guess I don't get it.
You get static. Give me insight engineering difficulty 2.
All right. Jeff. I don't think survival works here. Maybe it does because 24th century survival or 21st
No, this would
century
need to
survival.
be something related to subspace communications.
Yeah, I don't feel like that. Site engineering difficulty 2. I'll spend momentum all for a die.
All right, and this is a complication, so I'm spending the 2 threat.
Cool. Okay. Not one.
Yeah, you check back over the satellite. No one has purged the memory in a while. It's trying to retransmit an old file that is degraded in its memory, and in doing so, basically blanketing out all communications.
All right.
You're gonna need a team and probably a couple of hours to take apart this enough to get to that mechanism.
Would it damage it to just interrupt its power supply temporarily to get a comm signal out?
Yes, yes.
All right. Pathway became it is. Look at this mistransmitting item and go, well, it was a nice walk at least. It's probably checking what's going on here though. So yeah, I'll go back over the door and input an override code to make sure there's not someone dead in here or something, because with that state of disrepair, I'm like, yeah, I don't know.
You walk in. You know
Yep.
what? This rec area looks like someone was living here and then just stopped. There's a tea kettle that has been partially melted, and there's like a standard issue heating element, survival heating element that has just been like cooked until it burned itself out. There's like a half-eaten lunch on the table that is probably someone's meal like 4 months ago. And other signs that this place was abandoned in quite a hurry. And abandoned may be the wrong word. You don't see signs of struggle or strife. It just looks like who was ever here was just beamed out of his normal life.
Yeah. I can think of many things that could be terrible about keeping exploring, but Griffin has the trait brazen, so she's going to keep exploring here.
Oh, goddamn.
There are 3 doors in this room. One of them is like primarily made out of glass and is opaque, or like a see-through material and is kind of opaque. The other 2 are normal civilian-style doors.
All right, I'll pop open the first.
A bathroom where someone has left the water in the bath running for so long that a foot of water just kind of like cascades over your boots, and you smell mold and decay.
Oh. What?
Okay. Don't see any corpses though, so that's a good.
Nope.
That's the juice on your shoes right now.
It could be. Could be. But I'm not a scientist, so or medical officer. Also not a security officer, though I do have a high security. Yeah, I'll head over to the second one here and pop that open as well.
You see a bedroom. Bed made, computer terminal flickering. A mug of tea filled with mold.
All right. Is there any sort of computer display out here in any of these rooms?
There's a flickering terminal here.
All right. I'll lock the terminal and see if it's got anything I can parse.
Insight engineering difficulty 1.
All right. I'll spend a momentum again here because I'm rolling an 11.
Okay.
Oh, hey, nice.
Is comp stand or not?
I'll pay this one off and let the last one stand.
Okay.
Generate 2.
You're going to need to isolate this room from the main room. The kitchen equipment that was left running seems to have burned out part of the wiring in this facility. So give me control engineering difficulty 1 to isolate this terminal.
Yep. I don't know, 5th first, same as the rest of them. I'll spend momentum again.
Okay. Gain 2 momentum.
Gain 2.
You see a complex scientific document.
Well, that's something. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think like I am carrying anything on me that can pull the data off of that. Really, like I have.
You would want to get a data tape.
Cool.
You probably don't carry data tapes around, but this
Yeah,
computer might have one. There might be one here that you can record the data onto.
All right, yeah, I'll take a look and see if there is one.
Like a stack of floppies, just grab one.
For 2 momentum.
Yep, sure.
You grab a stack of 3 data tapes that all seem to be blank.
All right, I'll load what information I can get off this computer.
There are the system's memory far outstrips a couple of data tapes, so you're going to want to grab specific data.
Yeah, I'll grab what was displayed when I turned or when I accessed this.
So you can write data tape 1 research document. And you have 2 more tapes.
Does this thing have a like schedule or log of like building activity or research activity?
You can add system log. Basically, the record of the electronic systems, right? The doors opening, the kitchen equipment being turned on, this terminal being active, the satellite outside transmitting. It doesn't have like a camera view of the building and stuff,
Yeah,
but any kind of
But it
equipment
tells you,
that's
like, when
used,
certain
there's a
things
record
were
here.
used, and does it give any information on like purported like reasons for scheduled activity?
To like analyze the data is going to be a roll.
Got it. I won't do
You
that
can
then.
either defer the data tape's allowing you to defer to defer deciphering it till later.
All right. I'll see if there's any personal logs then, I guess.
All right, that's 3 data tapes.
So data tape 3 personal logs.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. I don't want to know what this science thing is, but can I parse it all vaguely? Like what
It's
don't need
it's
specifics,
it's a
just, like,
it's
what
a
general area of knowledge.
there is not going to be a half step because it's not a it is a very dense academic work written for other academics.
Yeah, no.
So there's a lot of ways you could be misled. Like you could just looking at it, you might think, oh, this is definitely something to do with math. Turns out it's entirely about biology, but it was describing like the incidence of a certain genetic phenomenon in a species, right? So that had a formula associated with it. So yeah, so this would be insight science difficulty for anything less than that, and you're likely to get misled.
Well, yeah, I'm not making that roll.
Yeah, it is very obviously like an academic work.
All right.
Oh, medicine could also work in place of science there.
Yeah, they're both 2s for me.
Okay, well.
So is engineering, and so is command, actually, also.
Very academically inclined individual.
It's almost like she's a specialist.
Yeah, look, I've got a 5 in con. I can do anything you want.
If only you knew a medical professional who was a
Yeah.
quick study.
Such a shame.
If only you hadn't bolted off in one random direction because you were just like overtaken by like the open world video game urge. Oh, I see an unmarked thing on my map. I wonder what's over there, and then just left the rest of the group.
Oh yeah, no.
Yeah, now I'm imagining Gwendolyn like crouched, moving through here, bow ready, stealth marching her way through the dungeon.
Starfield.
When she's not in the pilot's chair, Griffin does not make good decisions.
She doesn't make good decisions in the pilot's chair.
Harsh.
Hey, you live long enough to make specialists, so chief rather.
As you get close to this one, you see enough to see the opaque form of a person on the floor. Beyond that, the glass is not clear.
Well, given the time scale involved here, I'm not hopeful. I'll pull out my tricorder and see if I detect any life sign. But if there's a dead body on the other side, I'm not opening the door.
Your tricorder. Gonna spend 2 threat.
Doesn't work.
It works generally. It reports 1 detected life form, and a head, protective cladding. as you're dealing with a lab that was not intended to allow transmissions to escape. Not because of this lab's design, but this lab is mass produced and sometimes used for like nuclear research or research into weapon systems or engines. And in all of those cases, you don't want transmissions leaving the lab. And they decided not to remove those conveniently when it was only set up to do like zoological research or like be used as like an art facility.
Yeah. So quick question. Do we have the ability to set up a new subspace transmitter for these people?
Yep.
Cool. I'm gonna run outside and shoot the subspace transmitter to turn it off.
Oh my god.
I'm gonna write you
All
up
right.
for that. You kidding me?
Oh,
Actually,
yeah,
no. That's
no,
the
we
XO's problem.
definitely
No, I get the yell at you because you're in a listed. Never mind.
Yeah.
You have two people to yell at you.
So yeah, I'll run outside and blast this and blast that.
You're going to get the spicy pizza hand gestures.
Naturally.
All right. Give me control security difficulty 0 because it's not a moving or difficult to hit target.
Yep.
I hope you miss because that'd be hilarious.
It would be so funny.
Supposed to have 0.
Missed
You can't
the broad-
move.
just miss
All
the
comms.
broadside of
Yeah.
All comms.
just
Still hit it,
just
but
mi-
something bad happens.
just miss
There
the
we go.
broadside of a barn.
Generate 2.
You hit. I'm going to spend 2. Not being an engineer, you failed to consider the fact that despite the building's internal power grid being nearly disabled, like you experienced with the terminal, the satellite was fully functional. And it's only after you shoot it that you realized that's because it had its own independent power supply
Is it
that was inside the machine, not on a separate area.
Oh, it's about to explode. Got it.
Yes.
You just superheated a battery until it blew up.
I would have thought we'd gotten past that in the 23rd century, but oh well.
I
No.
need
Have you seen our consoles?
Oh yeah,
daring.
you're right.
Oh,
I need daring, fitness.
Daring fitness.
That's not a roll I can make.
Sorry. Fitness. Con.
All right.
No, this might be a hazard of your own creation, but I believe it's a hazard, so you have a reroll.
Hey.
And
so dumb.
Oh yeah, no. I'm not making good decisions. I already said that.
Actually, there's no reason to spend anything here.
You know those
Already has
baby
what it is.
harnesses with a leash attached to
Yeah,
it? We're getting one of
yeah.
those for the next away mission.
Good.
Yeah, fitness, con, difficulty 2.
All right. I'll spend a momentum. Focus in survival.
Yes.
Cool. Rolling for it.
Hey.
Hey. I'm fine. Don't know about everything else, but you know.
You jump quickly behind the wall, and you feel an explosion. You don't hear the explosion
Yeah, I
because
can't hear anything now, and perhaps my eardrums are ruptured. That's a problem for later.
You can
That's a
decide
problem
to
for me.
You can decide to soak this as an injury or not, but there is a if you don't, you're going to take a severity 2 concussion.
Oh, concussion.
So either you basically go unconscious and wake up sometime later, or you take 2 stress.
I'll take 2 stress.
All right, you still have that concussion.
Oh, yeah.
But you don't go
So I
down.
write it down on injuries?
It's a trait. You can write it down on injuries. Yes, it functions like a trait, though.
Yeah. Concussion 2.
You
Yeah.
can't see it, but I'm slow clapping for you right now.
You do not go unconscious, but you quickly feel your face and feel blood around your ears. You can't seem to hear anything. You didn't hear the explosion. You only felt it in your bones.
Yeah, so I don't know how loud I'm talking, but I am familiar with an explosion taking out your hearing. So I'm still going to flip open my communicator and say,
Doesn't seem to activate.
at all?
You opened it up. No chime.
Well, yeah, I know that. I'm not hearing
it
anything.
takes a second to realize that.
Yeah, fair.
Oh God.
Look at it. Oh, right. This is
This is definitely
Griffin
like
to-
some screaming, not a calm
Oh,
thing you're saying.
oh yeah, no. This is at max volume right now. But I don't feel like screaming in my apartment. This is Specialist Griffin to the Andromeda. I had to blast apart something to get rid of some comm interference. Probably need a bit of a medical team and maybe security to my location. Found what is probably a dead body, but not sure really. Anyways, hopefully you can see this now, because the jamming should be gone because there's no subspace transmitter anymore. It really wasn't working. Nobody's been up here to maintain anything. She's just going to keep talking, by the way.
Yeah, I was about to say, no, totally. Whoever's going to take up the ensign, right, has like said hello and is like trying to have a conversation, and Griffin doesn't seem to be aware. Like you have to check the equipment to make sure you are sending, and it does say that you are transmitting. She just seems to ignore everything you transmit.
Yeah, about a minute into this ramble, she says, "Oh right, also I can't hear anything. Think the explosion knocked out eardrums, maybe. Going on adrenaline right now, but probably gonna faint at some point in the next hour. So if we could get a medical team to me before then, that would be great. If not, I'll try and walk back. But you know."
Oh my God.
Where are you again?
Trying to
Kaufman
walk
just says. Kaufman,
Again.
who's horrendously confused, asks, "Where are you supposed to be?"
Having
Scene
just heard
changed.
I'm deaf, asks where are you?
Scene change.
Yeah.
Okay, as Kaufman tries to figure out where Griffin went in order to send
I
his
am
medical
actively
team.
transmitting, so you can tell where I am.
Perfect. Immaculate. No notes.
Mm-hmm. Hey, you know, the doctor could probably just fly up and see me.
I mean, yeah.
Look, freshly injured
Yeah.
prey. I mean, wait,
That's
what?
something she says in the 3rd or 4th minute of talking, by the way.
So
Yeah.
we go into a quiet room where, sitting across from Aratana, is the Vulcan Saran. The two of them Saran is intensely focused in this game of Calto, that after 4 rounds has seen no advantage. But I will allow you to describe if that's because it's an even match or because you have a particular strategy in mind.
Aratana's kind of looks to be lounging back a little, like looking as relaxed as they could be, and seemingly isn't adopting the natural Kalto focused, almost semi-meditative state you go into when you're trying to focus really hard on the game. I am focused. It's just I'm focusing not on the sticks as much. I'm focusing on him. So a lot of my strategy is playing moves that aren't aiming to win or complete the Kalto, but watching what he's doing and then betting appropriately to mess with his head, to give him a sense that I see a strategy he doesn't, and then trying to get him to screw up because I assume he's a better player than I am. So I'm trying to get him to overestimate my position so I can find a gap and push into it.
All right, then he is going to there's going to be an opposed task. He is attempting control science. I think you're attempting it like a presence science or presence command.
Yeah, presence command. Yeah. Trying to guide him into a trap, basically. Or get a feel for what kind of person he is.
Despite him sitting across the table, he is not an enemy, so he won't be spending threat.
Mm-hmm.
He will. You can give him momentum. He will spend from his own personal pool, though, to use the value. I have seen 1,000 variations because he has nearly seen all of what this game can be. But he's not going to buy dice unless y'all allow him to.
Yeah, I won't be buying.
Hey, I didn't generate momentum for nobody. He can spend, as far as I care.
I'm trying to do a determination spend on my own. He irritated me. I don't know, you might be broke, kind of low rank, excuse you?
He was trying to accurately assess your financial situation according to the
I could take out a loan, you friggin' cloistered
World
monk.
Kalto Players Association standard.
Mr. being like, he's like one of the higher ranked NCOs you can be.
Yeah.
Which is also in the grand scale of Federation ranking systems in the middle. Which is what he said. But yeah, no. If entirely appropriate in instant amongst Ferengis to assess each other's wealth, and when you've spent several years there trying to learn various games of chance, you might pick up habits that other Vulcans find annoying.
Or just other people.
Well, the Ferengi seem to like him.
Most people find the Ferengi annoying, so.
Well, lucky for Aratana, they haven't met Ferengi yet.
Yet. Next episode.
In fact, he doesn't even know who Ferengi are. This is just a random species that this guy named.
Yeah, it's like, oh, some alien species. There's all kinds. Who knows? Did I arrest one lately? No, I don't care. But I am thinking. Finagling. A value spend back at him.
I could see the last one because you have before the game started you told him exactly what your capabilities were. You don't need to give him a chance here. He's already accepted this game.
It's like, I warned you. I know how to play. No, really. I've played with a lot of people. We can play my game. I'll play your game. Okay.
Yeah, I told you. You don't get to take that back now. Any callbacks there?
Yeah, I'm calling back to offer single warning not to. The episode changes is it was when I last called back to that. Don't know if that fires.
Changes. Oh, changes was the episode about tag.
Yeah, because it was after Tabula Rasa, before In Silent Service. So yeah, that would be the tag episode.
You're right.
The argument I'm going to try to spin on that is that it's a lot about getting a measure of a person and knowing how to warn people, but that's partly to manipulate them into giving up or to giving ground. And learning that some people don't. Some people will push forward even if you do give them that warning. Like even Tag, for example. It's like,
I'll buy that because your big part of that was trying to judge a freighter captain when all you knew about him was what Tag told you.
gonna write down my first log. Hooray! My first arc, rather.
Oh, that was an arc, not a milestone?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
yeah.
Determination gained.
Yay. Now I don't feel bad about spending my determination because I definitely wanted to call back, even though this totally felt like a determination spend for Ertana. Prison's Command. I'm not spending momentum because I'm not gonna use it on him. It's a friendly game.
In a sense, yes.
And the rest of my stuff doesn't really apply, so boop. I don't think it does. No, it doesn't.
Right. So far, one success for him. Because you didn't buy any extra dice, the 0 is what I take, right? Because
oh yeah, that's right. Because it
overrides
eats the die. Yeah.
Yep. He does have a relevant talent here. I'm double checking it. Okay, so he has dedicated focus, Calto, because, like he said, he is attempting to be recognized as a master.
Mm-hmm.
So you score a critical success for any die which rolls equal to or under twice the relevant department. Unfortunately, he would have had to roll a 10 or less.
Yeah.
So that still puts him ahead unless you have a talent, but that's the only relevant talent he had.
Would Duranium Chief help at all? In the sense that I'm being very hard to read?
No, because his primary strategy was
playing
the game. Your emotional state was not part of his strategy.
Yeah.
Vice versa, that would have worked. If it was him that had that, it would have been a great defense against you.
Could this be construed as seeing a hidden danger in his play? Constantly watching.
No, because he's not. He didn't use daring. He used control. He's very methodical.
No, he has.
Right. I would have used daring if he was like trying to pull something, but no, it's like fighting someone who takes nothing for granted. He doesn't like randomly jab out. He builds a solid base of support on every turn and just keeps a methodical march forward. It's almost like the thing that's unnerving is almost like you're irrelevant to the game he's playing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it. That may be. I don't know if you have anything to like help with that understanding, but that's kind of the feeling you're getting. Is it's almost like he doesn't need you to be here.
Oh man.
No, if it was a trait he was hitting me with, it'd be mental discipline, but it's not really. We're both Vulcans mentally disciplining our way, just coming at the game from different directions. Yeah, no. There is no reball in the back of that. That's just this guy's
All right.
just that much better than I am. Only just though.
He makes a closing move, which is inescapable, and he puts his hand out and says, "I assume you accept the outcome." As he places his hand towards the gold press latinum.
Forgot to put out your bet, sir. As I'm trying to trick him into thinking there's something that there's something he missed.
He looks and says, "The count of latinum is the agreed upon amount. 5 turns."
Hey, if you're saying you have the win, you're free to raise, but I don't know.
Boy, on a stop. No.
He says, "Very well then," and he sits down, and you methodically make him play out the final moves. Everyone in the room knows what is going to happen, but he does not try to argue. He follows the rules to the letter until the game is officially complete.
In the variant, the minute he basically he makes another bet saying, raising the bet going, I'm going to win now, I fold immediately. It's like, do you see it? And he immediately sees it. It's like, okay, yeah, you win. Basically pushing the pile back over to him, showing I lost. Like, no, you got me.
He says, he takes it, and then he says, "If you would accept," and he pushes the amount back across and says, in recognition of providing a victory worthy of achieving mastery.
Nah, you keep it. Buy yourself some more text and make sure you never have to have a close game like this again. Great game, though. Amazing game. Amazing.
He says, "I agree." Then he kind of steps aside from the table, and Kavar steps forward and says, "Adept Saran has completed his demonstration. If there are any masters of note who would disagree that he has demonstrated competency to achieve the title of Master of Applied Games, you may present your argument now." The hall kind of stands still for a second, and no one speaks out. And he says, "Then, in accordance with all relevant customs and the teachings of Sirach from the time of the third great conflict, second month, first journal, we here assembled agree that Saran has achieved the rank of Master of Applied Games." and there seems to be mutters of agreement and acknowledgement. A downright ecstatic Vulcan crowd, as much as there ever could be such a thing.
I actually walk over to stick out my hand to shake it. Very non-Vulcan thing I picked up from the colonies.
He says, they do this in the gaming parlors in St. Petersburg. And he shakes your hand.
Great, now I have another master's book to buy. I nod at him in respect.
He says, well, if you ever decide on a new venue for life, I'm sure there are things you could demonstrate mastery in.
Adjusts phaser at belt and keeps quiet about his specialty. A little self-conscious.
Inverni gets up to while watching the game or afterward is there's a crowd of people who all seem to be masters of something.
I mean, and Bernie also has a master's.
He does. He is in fact a master at something himself. It'd be funny to object, but he's not. Technically, he could have also done that, then did the reading and had a competent score and a focus at that game that he's never played before.
Wait a minute, I only just realized Dr. Tweer has a focus in board games. It's his hobby.
Uh-huh.
He probably plays with Artana on the ship. As far as what Annie ends up doing, probably afterwards, brushing elbows with some people, if that makes sense.
So
Like, he doesn't know who's who, but he can probably get around and figure it out.
The free knowledge you get from that is on just about any obscure topic you could think of. There is someone here who has a postdoctoral understanding of that topic.
Amazing. Actually, I'd say anyone has a postdoctoral understanding of the weird quantum stuff that happened before, where there was two of us.
Well, even and I don't say that to suggest that there's a bunch of theoretical physicists walking around. Like, you bump into someone whose specialty is cultivation of grains on this specific world at different biomes, right? There is
hyper-focused.
Yeah, there's a. I mean, the guy you just saw is now considered a master of not the theory of playing games, but actually demonstrating capacity to succeed in all manner of games. So this is just,
okay. Then it's just going to be the collation of random, seemingly useless information. But he's the kind of person that'll collect random facts and then, like, a year later, it's like, oh, this problem that we have now, I remember this one weird conversation I had where this was slightly relevant. Which kind of fits under his master's anyway of informatology. So, yes. He doesn't particularly care who he's talking to. He's just interested in the perspective.
Give me insight, science, difficulty 2.
Insight, science, difficulty 2. I don't think he has a focus, because mediation does not. It's not appropriate. He's not mediating anything, unless they're about to get into a fight with each other.
Nope. This is about learning.
Yeah.
Hey, rigorous adversarial debate is learning. Sorry.
Yeah. No rapid analysis either. None of that.
No Socratic method? Jeez. casuals.
Yeah,
says.
you walk up to the master of modern reactors and just keep asking, but why?
Hey, that is a valid philosophical line of questioning.
As a Vulcan, they're willing. You don't have the endurance to stand here and keep asking why. They will outlast you.
That's not
I
very
have
nice from a
coffee.
human.
We'll
I believe
find
in
out.
them. That's why coffee was invented.
Eventually, you get stuck and you find your Vulcan counterpart is like Wikipedia. They just get down to philosophy as the base article for every click.
Who needs the
That's
Wikipedia
amazing.
tunnel? Just Vulcan tunnel.
I'll give you a momentum and just
All right.
go from there.
Perfect.
Oh my lord!
It's gonna stand
I
or
don't
not?
like that. What the hell? Wait a second.
You want to keep it or you want to spend 2
I
minutes?
will consider what I'm doing here.
Look, I understand your academic point of view, but shut up. Your face is smelly. Sounds like some convenient
Honestly, actually, yes. So if we can spend to the act with confidence, even if you don't feel confident, to the argument that the complication is probably something to do with absolutely just getting blindsided by something that's said and having to process.
I'll take that. Yeah.
And not look like he's lagging behind.
I'll take that.
To which, can I call back that one to World Without War? It's actually where I've got the last callback on for that.
No, because that wasn't about you learning anything. That was coordinating with. That was being a leader, basically, even among people who are pretty hostile.
That's fair. Though I did have to learn quite a bit about Klingon systems and how not to die. It's different. I accept that. I had to try. Okay, there we go. Better. That is a pass.
You gain the trait for the rest of the episode of spoke with the masters.
Lovely.
And that is when the two of you get alerts on your communicators.
Looks at Autonomous, sees this is going off as well, just kind of steps closer to him and pulls his own one out. Like, this is in Bernie, go ahead. I can't actually move my token on this.
Ensign Kaufman, you can give whatever the emergency recall is.
Do I know where?
This is not to them specifically.
is?
This is like a broadcast.
Oh, okay. Then
Because
Kaufman will say.
this is me assuming. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm assuming Ensign Kaufman's gonna be trying to get everybody back to the ship so this can be handled. But
Yeah. So
you can correct me
Kaufman
if that's wrong.
That sounds fine. Kaufman is going to say, "This is Ensign Kaufman in command of USS Andromeda. There has been an incident with Commander Griffin, who is incapacitated in need of rescue, requesting all Starfleet officer and crew return to ship immediately. I repeat, I request all Starfleet crew return to ship immediately."
Just send back an affirmative, but there's also look at Artana like, when did Griffin get promoted above me?
There's a wave of I'll talk to the ensign.
I'm sorry. A chief operations specialist. She's such a goofy title. I never remember it.
Chief is a good
chief
shorthand.
But that does not narrow it down. Everyone's a chief.
Chief Griffin kind of narrows it down, though. We don't have too many of those.
Chief Griffin narrows it down because we know who Griffin is. Wait. Okay, how can I move Griffin now, but Annie can't be moved? What is this?
I don't know. I'll look at it after the game.
Foul dark magic.
First.
Revere, as you get the call, you have made it to the top, but have not had enough time to investigate when the emergency goes out.
I mean,
Is
you're
it,
probably fine.
it was for you rather than them. It was a considerable hike up.
Revere to Andromeda. What is the chief's location? The specialist location?
I believe that's unconfirmed, GM.
Yeah, they can't
No,
ask her,
roughly
and she didn't
random.
say it.
Yeah, Kaufman will
No.
say.
At some point while she keeps talking, she is going to have said where she is.
Okay.
She's
In that
been
case,
talking.
To threat. It is. Well, it was clear to Griffin that she said where she was. The ensign does not know where UFP main science is.
she is in some sort of science laboratory, if I've understood her ramblings. Where that laboratory is, I've yet to determine. It is, as far as I know, within walking distance of Andromeda's current position.
I mean, science laboratory does really narrow it down.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, but I mean, we know that there's this science lab up there off by itself.
So it's probably that.
no, that's why
Yeah.
I wasn't even being sarcastic. I was saying like that genuinely just narrows
Yeah.
it down. That's like a
Roger that. Revere to Captain Solaris. Blah, sorry.
Laura's here.
Captain, this is Revere. I'm up on the side of the mountain at the communications part. It would take me just about as long to get back to the ship as to head directly to the science lab and see what happened to Specialist Griffin. Shall I just make my way there from here and meet you there?
And it sounds
Post
like
haste.
and
If Griffin is in need of rescue, then we should move at post haste.
indeed,
Understood. I'm on my way.
indeed, he looks to the captain. I hope you don't mind me going on ahead, but his wings. I believe I can make better ground.
Yeah, and Revere will start
Oh
trucking.
God, was that a pun? But yeah, no, the captain will just nod her head and say, your flying abilities are coming in great handy here. Are coming into great use here."
All right.
I wish we had a cheap
I
Wrangler in the
will
back of the Andromeda.
give a task for what it would take for each of you to get there about the same amount of time. If you're willing to be delayed because you're one of the people that's further back, you can get an easier task. But this is to exert yourself hard enough that you arrive while when the others arrive. For Dr. Tweer, there is no task because you easily will beat anyone there without any exertion. They would have to exert themselves a lot to match your speed.
Can that be a diff 2 or diff 0 task to generate us some momentum?
Eternal optimism.
I think flight is just like a species trait. So unless there's weather.
No, I don't. No, I don't think. No. So Loris, to keep up and arrive not too long after Tuir, you're looking at a difficulty 2 fitness con.
It's con. Rolling a cool 9. If I want to arrive a slightly bit later, can I drop that down to diff 1? Yeah, Vulcan Tree. Does Vulcan Tree help
Yes.
here? Okay, so this is okay.
No. The yes was to the slow down at an
Okay.
easier difficulty. No, because your increased strength, like your, it's not
You'll
a
walk
it's not a
faster,
matter of
yeah.
it is not a matter of strength.
That's totally fair. Vulcans are
um,
never depicted to walk faster. Fitness con. All right, I'm going a little bit slow, and I'm giving you a momentum, and I have good odds of hitting it. All right, I didn't have to go slow, but the captain takes her time, and is walking at a good jog.
Wait, so did you take the? I thought you took the diff 2.
I said diff 1 to go slower.
Okay, so you gain a momentum.
Yeah, I'm not going
And
to change that answer because I succeeded. That's what I wanted to do.
The engineer, you have the I'm spending 2. You have to contend with the trait of no clear path. So this is difficulty 3 for you.
Okay. Got a reroll thanks to the LT. Prehensile
Yep.
tail kick in for balance and climbing and whatnot.
Yeah, because you're running through brush and trees. If you were on a clear path, no, but
Yep.
by
But
the
you
nature of this path, yeah.
Yeah, you just established it's not a clear path.
So you said fitness con diff 3.
Yes.
Well,
Well, diff 2 now.
fortunately, since I
Oh, wait,
knew-
Prehensile tail is not a trait; it's an ability, right?
yeah, it's a species ability.
Okay, sorry.
So still I have to beat a 3, right?
Yep, that is correct.
Okay. So fortunately, because I saw out the window that there was all this great open plains, I did the reading. So take a momentum. I'll use science instead of con.
I was going to do the same shit. I'm not going to lie.
It's more, yeah, it'd be more like before you got here, you did read up on the topography of the colony.
Right. So.
I read up on breathing exercises.
All right.
Does he know of a secret cave that brings him right down to here?
No,
Different
but
game.
he does know. He does know that there used to be a path in this area.
Ah.
That was cleared out 100 years ago when part of the colony was in this area.
Oh. Are there decayed buildings around here then?
No, it's not like it was abandoned. It's just over time it was no longer needed, so they moved. They
Okay.
solidified the colony. But he read a little bit about the history.
Okay. So I get 1 bonus d20. So I will give you. Let's get 3 momentum. Anybody else gonna need a certain amount of momentum?
1.
Okay. So I'll
To do
spend.
what you did.
I'll
Yeah.
spend 2 to get the 4th die.
Okay.
And because the way I've been rolling today, I probably need it. Haha, science. Oh, I'll re-roll. I'll fish. I've got a re-roll. Haha.
Gain a momentum.
Okay, I have 3 of those left.
You arrive around the same time as the doctor. Artana and Inverni, y'all are looking at a difficulty 5 because you're so far away.
Y'all don't have to get here right away.
Hey, you
I'ma
sounded
do
the alarm. You know,
Yeah, we don't know that.
we do have a functional transporter. We could just site to site.
You could.
Lieutenant.
That's an entirely different thing. You could entirely do that.
Yes, but not nearly as fun as
You could also
the doctor
probably-
swooping down from the skies at the same time as the Tiger Man, leaps up from
This is
down the mountain.
Aratana's like
Cool.
colonial. Like we have cool toys now. I don't want to run down the damn hill. I want to use a fancy spaceship and teleport
Everyone
down
else,
there.
Hauling ass, Artana and Inverni just casually stepping off the beam.
Because you're a boring Vulcan.
The
Oh,
bird
take
swoops
that back. I'll
in,
fight you.
the Tiger Man jumps out to the cool action sounds, and just the problem's been solved for 15 minutes by Artana and Inverni. You're just casually sitting around now.
Right.
Hate this.
Also, quick question here: wasn't Kaufman's thing about getting back to the ship?
Yeah, and just all the senior officers ignored her.
Okay, cool. Maybe you guys could transport back to the Andromeda.
Well, I called in and asked for permission to head there directly.
And then
And
Yeah.
I don't know where the captain and the bird were, but yeah.
Yeah, because we'd be
Well,
getting back to the ship anyway. It'd be even easier.
Also, Inverni outranks the ensign and cannot do that.
Wait, can't do what?
True.
You can just not do whatever the ensign said.
Oh yeah,
the
true.
ensign
You're a
made
but-
a
lieutenant.
request, not an order, because she wasn't But yeah, the captain. I assume the captain would have sent a message to Andromeda that she, the tiger, and the bird were off running to the colony, to the science post because they're closer.
General note of warning: the one engineer with transporters and replicators is currently bounding down the side of a mountain. So when you're talking about
That's fine.
side-to-side beaming, just keep that in mind.
I've done the reading on side-to-side beaming too. What do you want?
You're not the
Yeah.
one who can activate the transporter.
That's
If we
true.
get to the ship, we can, because we're just doing that first. That's what we were told. It's like, oh yeah, we'll go there.
Oh, what are the two of you? That is what the two of you are doing.
I think that sounds like an appropriate course of action, don't you,
Yeah.
Altana? Yeah, because we can just go elsewhere later. But
Alright,
we don't know what the ensign knows or doesn't know because it wasn't all shared on the communicator.
To arrive at the ship at the time they're arriving at the lab is difficulty 3.
Oh, okay. Do you want to go first or should I go first?
This I'll accept a lead and an assist here.
Okay.
Like fitness
Con.
I'm looking at a 14 with a focus, but it's focused on 1 and 2 because my con isn't great.
I'd be 13 and a focus on a 4.
You should lead.
Yeah,
I'll assist
so
you.
I'll spend 1 for doing the reading, which gives me a focus on, breathing exercises.
Go ahead.
Yeah, that's what I'm going with. And it was a diff 3 that we're trying to hit here, correct?
Yes.
Yes. So I'll spend 2 and 1. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh my god. Well, I have a reroll.
Go ahead.
There we go.
So
I was gonna say complicate again. Do it
1
again.
momentum gained,
Bite me, Birdman.
and y'all are running up the ship as we go.
You know what? I think I oh wait, no, it's Artana who also plays board games. Never mind. I was gonna say if Inverni and Dr. Tweer did, I could see why they just absolutely hate each other.
Dr.
No, he just makes
Tweer,
coffee.
you land in an opening. You see Inverni kind of
Griffin.
probably at this point laying unconscious
Human.
against a wall.
Oh, I see Inverni, do I?
Sorry, Griffin. And then
Yeah.
shortly after, Lieutenant Revere runs out of the bushes.
I feel like I'm like
Carol.
slumped against the wall, maybe not unconscious, but like slightly delirious.
You know what?
Oh no.
That concussion is actually pretty serious. It's
You got a brain bleed.
Not
I
good.
feel like that would be too lethal.
Just poke a hole in the skull. Drain it. There we go. Simple.
Trepanation! Field trepanation!
You
Yeah.
do have a you do have seem to have broken your ankle when you jumped for
Entirely fair.
for safety. You can suffer that and go unconscious or take 2 additional stress.
I'll take the 2 stress.
Good
Thank you
note
very
that a different scene has passed, so you only have 2 stress, though you still have both of those injuries.
Cool.
You know what? This is great for me
You
because guess what? I actually fractured my ankle a couple days ago. So
You also,
Uh-huh.
I am going to
this is coming from me personally.
You should see. Hold on a second. Okay, without too explicitly stating anything, you should see an additional sheet next to yours.
Me?
No,
Yeah,
Griffin.
no, I see that.
Okay. You will be using this sheet, not the other sheet.
Okay.
Fuck.
What are we doing here?
I'm-
GM?
This is only Griffin has to be aware of this at the moment.
Oh, I know. Oh, I'm sure. I'm just. Oh no, I don't like the sound of that.
Is there anything you like the sound of?
No.
Sound of
I'm the
music?
canary. I'm the canary in the coal mine.
Another
Okay,
Uh,
the
canary?
sheet is updated with the changes. That is the sheet
Okay.
you will be using. Do not use your normal one.
Where else?
Understood.
Doctor runs up to
Oh,
Chief.
yeah. Okay, go ahead.
Are you all right? And he starts, taking out his medical tricorder and waving it over her.
I'm looking for what's changed.
It's even better if you don't notice.
Yeah, the game doesn't need you to notice.
Play it blind. Go.
Yeah.
No,
alright,
no.
am
Your
I able to
character
hear?
doesn't know yet. It's just that I can't tell you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start playing the game for you. So.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, no, she's not playing it blind. She's playing it deaf.
Dr.
Can
Fair
I
now.
hear anything?
Insight or yeah, because I'll take insight or reason depending on how much time you're taking. Are you just looking and trying to get a diagnosis, or are you like taking a moment to consult the tricorder?
Right now, I just need to get a diagnosis because A, that fits in with his values, and B, for all he knows, he might not have time to do a full diagnosis.
Insight medicine difficulty 2.
Okay, cool. Does my diagnostic expertise focus come in? Or not focus, talent. To identify and diagnose the nature of a medical problem, I can ask an additional question for every D20 I buy with momentum.
Yes, as long as this is not the one that's for unfamiliar stuff. There's nothing unfamiliar yet. Okay, go ahead.
No, this is just if I'm diagnosing something. I'm spending a momentum for a third die. Thank you.
Go ahead.
Emergency medicine focus.
Yes.
I'm re-rolling that. Wow. Yeah. Okay. Hang on. Hey, because I said
that curse you wished upon me. Remember?
Yeah.
Karma.
Yeah.
Reap what you have sown.
Yep. So, I explicitly mentioned it might help here. I'm gonna spend the value. Only trust that which you observe with your own eyes.
Sure.
Because I explicitly said that I'm not like going through the whole like.
Yep.
Not. Yeah. Come on.
All right.
There we go.
2 momentum gained. You're dealing with 2 injuries, a broken ankle severity 2 and a concussion severity 2.
Okay. The concussion is the thing that needs the most immediate attention.
Yes, you are detecting unusual neural activity
Kidding.
that could or could not be consistent with the concussion.
Hey, I have a free question. Is
Go ahead.
that neural activity consistent with a concussion?
Could or could not be. That's literally meaningless.
Checkmate. If it was meaningless, he wouldn't ask. Information was conveyed.
Well, what you said though, it could or could not be comparable to a concussion means nothing because that's like saying
But
there is
if
neural activity in her brain. It's that level of not useful.
if it was
there
not
is
useful,
abnormal.
Dr. Tweer would be asking an entirely different
Yeah.
question.
Okay. Okay.
There's a lesson in GMing. If you want them to ask, just tell them to ask.
Yeah, it's called a leading answer.
There you go.
Um,
I'll let you dig your own holes.
Wow.
I have hard stops in half an hour and an hour and a half. I can't do that.
It's true.
There is additional neural activity that looks concerning, but not as immediately threatening as the concussion.
Okay. Well, that will have to be. We'll have to look into that back in sickbay, where I can set up proper diagnostic equipment. Apparently, I would not be able to bring such equipment out here, so for the time being, proper neural stimulants will have to do. And he's going to try and treat the concussion.
Can I hear GM or can I not at this point?
No, not until the concussion is healed.
Not okay, cool. So it's not just your thing.
And yeah,
No, I kind of wrapped up them both in the same rather than hitting you with a bunch of separate
Cool.
small things.
That sounds good.
While you're doing that, Revere, you run up and see Tweer giving the chief medical attention. You also see a smoking, burned out building.
When I see that there's someone aside from the doctor here, I will, of course, still shouting, say, first two doors are clear. Last door has maybe a dead body in it. I couldn't tell. Thought it would be best to get people over here.
you don't have to yell. We can hear you just fine.
You say to the person with a hearing loss.
Continue yelling.
What? What did you say?
Yep. To the best of your understanding, Lieutenant, you've been informed of a possible casualty.
Also
Okay.
known as free lunch.
I guess I will make my way into the building. And since I've been told the first. Okay.
Daring con or security difficulty 1 as you try to maneuver the hazy, burned out building.
Wait, is something still on fire or?
There are still active fires, but not like raging threat of death fires, but there's like minor burning things, and the building still has a roof, which means most of the smoke is like trapped in the building.
Oh, fair enough. Okie dokie.
Get the doctor to go over there and flap his wings a bit. Clear out the smoke.
Daring on or security, you said?
Yep.
6 of one, half dozen of another. Okay, what was the diff? 1?
1.
I'll use a momentum for a third, just see if I make it. I do.
Gain a momentum. You find your way to a closed door.
All right. See if
I'll
I can.
shout like around the thing. You might not be able to hear it, but probably. You have big ears. Might be a biohazard. I don't know.
You can't hear that.
Well, the doctor can.
All right. Is the door locked or?
If you attempt, you open it rather easily with the override code.
Okay, but like, am I able to see into the next room or?
No, because of the smoke.
Okay. All right. So yeah, I'll use an override code.
The door closes behind you and one opens in front of you. and you find yourself in a smoke-filled room. You vaguely make out the a figure lying on the floor.
All right. Is it humanoid?
Yes.
Okay. Don't know what I can do much beyond checking his pulse, but I'll try and check his pulse.
You lean down and notice two things. This is definitely the geneticist Henri Sato,
Mm-hmm.
and this man has been dead for a lot longer than a few minutes, like maybe months.
Okay. Well, then I don't touch him then.
No, I mean, like you have to get close because of smoke and like
Right.
turn him over, but
Okay.
it's like when you go to like take his pulse and you're like, oh shit.
So I'll make my way over to maybe this control panel here and see
It
if there
is
are.
flickering.
Okay.
Actually, I take
engineering.
it back. It is not turned on because it has been disconnected from the grid.
Oh, can I power it up with what's in my engineering kit?
Daring engineering difficulty 1.
Daring engineering. Jury rigging or
Yes.
electoplasma? Okay.
Jury rigging.
Okay. I'll give you a threat for bold.
Right.
Glad I did that.
You want to let those stand or not?
Well, I re-rolled 1, and I'll give
Okay.
you 2 threat for the
All right.
second.
You
I did make it.
are reading many different alerts from disconnections,
Mhm.
and that storage containers 1 through 3 are compromised, batteries compromised, data transfer compromised, system lock compromised. Just a laundry list of compromised systems.
Right. Is there some sort of ventilation system I could activate?
Environmental control system.
Yeah.
Yes, there is.
Okay. I will do that to try and.
You get an alert.
Mhm.
You need authorization to vent the lab. You need daring, security, or engineering difficulty 4 to override the lockout. The lab does not want to allow you to vent it.
Are there any alerts about contamination or anything like that?
No. It just
Okay.
doesn't. It just doesn't believe you have the authority to do this.
I'm a Starfleet officer. I've got all sorts of authorities. Yeah. So I will try and vent the lab. You said daring engineering difficulty 4.
Yes.
Okay. 940. Jury rigging.
No, because this is more of a computer programming issue.
Fair enough. Then no focus. So, all right, I'll give you 2 momentum and 3 threat for a full bent. Try and vent the lab. I'll re-roll the comp.
1 momentum gained, and the vents start up. And once they complete activation, you see a pop-up alert that says unable to send warning transmission to nearest Starfleet outpost.
Can I get the warning transmission?
For a momentum.
Sure.
You stand here reading the direct output of the log, and it seems all pretty standard. Summoning a starship in an emergency, but I pay for a reveal. Buried in the log is a notification to the nearest starship with dedicated medical facilities that a genetic experiment might be compromised.
All right, I will open up my communicator. Revere to Dr. Tweer and Commander Soloris. The
Commander
genetic.
Soloris here.
I'm inside the geneticist lab. He has been dead for several months, apparently. Although transmission capability seems to be down, the system here is trying to send an alert to Starfleet about a potential genetic. What was the word? Genetic experiment. Not gone wrong.
A generic experiment compromised.
A compromised genetic experiment.
Compromised genetic experiment?
Yes.
How dangerous do you believe this to be?
Unknown at this point.
In this time, has Tweer been able to take a crack at helping that concussion?
You're working on it as you hear this.
Okay. He would like to. He'd like to check in on that, but again, right now there's a concussion in front of him.
All right, then go ahead and give me control medicine difficulty 2.
Yep, and he says, "I will be right there to take a look. Once I'm done with this concussion here. Control medicine, you say? To shreds, you say?
At that point, also Commander Soloris is going to calm Andromeda, and she's going to say, "There appears to have been some sort of biological experiment leak at the science lab. Do not send anyone further there until further information as to the nature of this leak is ascertained."
And you said Dip 2?
Yep.
Take 3 threat. And I generate 2 momentum.
Okay. And Artana, no one appears to be lost. Everyone appears to be where you expect to find them.
Good.
Although the word quickly comes down from the ensign that captain has ordered no one to leave the ship.
Oh, well. Sorry if I missed something. I got a call that I had to take.
You're fine.
Shortly after, Captain, you arrive, and Dr. Tweer, you start heading inside. Griffin, you can hear again, but you still have a broken ankle.
Yeah, as actually, so before Tweer goes inside, so he does see the captain approaching.
Captain.
You can.
Okay, he just approaches her and says, she still has a broken ankle, but currently her injuries are not life-threatening.
So I can hear now, which is a marked improvement. Let me tell you.
Hmm.
Yeah, the Vulcan like looks past you at the crewman and back at you and says, "There was nothing you could do to fix the SAS."
Anyhow, if what Revere has said is true, we might be dealing with something rather dark. I would like to take a look at the doctor that passed and see if I can't determine a cause of death, as well as try to get a handle on what he was doing here.
Yes, I lack grace with medical skill, but my knowledge of the sciences is on point as ever. If I can assist you in containing this leak or understanding it, that is a risk I have to take here. Griffin, are you going to be content to not be put in further harm's way if we are not able to move you away right now? We cannot leave. You cannot return to the ship, although your condition warrants such a return because of the leak.
I've got a bit of a bad angle right now, Captain, but I think if you could help me get inside, I can probably fashion a splint or something in the meantime until maybe we'll get proper medical attention. Don't worry about me. I'm fine.
Yeah, the captain will loop you under her shoulder and help you in, I suppose.
Very
All
good.
right. As y'all go in,
You can at least put her on a chair now.
Lieutenant Revere,
Hmm.
you can either go down or take one stress.
I will take a stress.
All right. Dr. Tuir,
Mhm.
you can either go down or take a stress.
I'll take a stress.
All right.
Do I feel something?
Sick.
Not because not significantly. Like after having flown here, walking through a smoke-filled room and the adrenaline, it's not serious enough to come to your attention.
Mm-hmm. Cool. He's gonna.
Hold on.
Oh.
Griffin, further updates have been made.
Yep, I saw.
Oh no.
Uh-huh.
Oh no.
I'm very
Oh.
mad about that one.
And
Oh.
Soloris, you can take one stress or go down.
Yeah, I'm just gonna take the stress. And what do I
Okay.
feel? A headache or anything?
After the run, after the exertion of the day, not enough to really quantify yet.
Okay, I just feel a bit tired. I just think I'm a
A
bit
bit
tired from the
tired,
energy
a
expelled.
bit uneasy.
Okay, which fits given everything that's happened today.
Yep.
Yeah,
All right.
can I pull out a tricorder and start making some scans of the
Yeah.
First,
Well, actually, when
Tuir.
Dr. Tuir gets in here, first thing he wants to do is he wants to check the
Okay.
the scientist.
Insight medicine. Actually, reason medicine, difficulty 3.
Okay, reason. Infectious diseases.
No.
Okay. Yeah, the only thing I can really
Emergency
think of would.
medicine.
Oh, emergency medicine. Okay.
Yep.
If you'll take that. Diagnostic expertise.
You're diagnosing something. Yep.
Yep. Okay. Cool. Difficulty 3, you say. take a threat and I'll spend 2 momentum.
Uh-oh.
Oh no. That's 6 hits.
Gain 3 momentum.
Cool. And I also have a free question.
So the information you get, you have a adult human male, approximately 65 years old, who has died of a heart attack brought on by a weak cardiac muscle.
Hmm.
The patient or the person has been dead for approximately 27 days.
Oh, so not months, but a month.
Well, yeah, the other people weren't scanning him. They were just looking at his body.
Okay. Cool. Weak cardiac muscle. So do I get the indication that the weak cardiac muscle, is that a result of his age, or is that a result of like genetically he has a like weak heart?
No obvious signs of trauma. And the structure of his heart is consistent with the event. So you would imagine that this was an undiagnosed issue rather than a development.
Okay. All right. Very well. Unfortunate, but these things do happen. Dr. Tweer stands up and approaches Revere. Would appear that he had a heart attack about a month ago. Likely an undiagnosed genetic condition.
I've got this terminal up and running on my emergency power bank. You might want to check here, see if you can find out about this genetic experiment, see what we're facing.
Commander Solaris, you can take a stress or go down.
Okay, I'll take another stress.
Right.
Yeah, and is there anything I can do with science to? Or sorry, if you're running through people, I'll talk.
Yeah, I'm
take my
about to
turn
go
later.
back to Revere and
Sorry.
answer his question. It was just that I needed to inform you of that.
Mm-hmm.
So go ahead, Revere.
I was just telling the doctor that he could get this, that I've got this up and running for now, and maybe he can figure out what the
Oh, okay. If you want, Doctor, Reason Medicine, difficulty 4.
Okay, reason medicine, difficulty 4. I have for traits, I have physician. And I also have Starfleet medical xenozoology researcher.
None of those specifically relevant in this situation.
Cool.
I actually am going to bring down the diff to 3, but
Quick study.
well, no, it is relevant to something that has happened to you, but you also might have abilities. But does quick study also bring the diff down?
When attempting a task that involves an unfamiliar practice, technique, or medical procedure, which is to treat an unfamiliar species, ignore difficulty or comp increases from stemming from unfamiliarity.
It's not. None of this is unfamiliar to you.
Oh, awesome! More genetics. Fuckery. You said diff 4.
Yes.
Okay. I am going to spend the 3 momentum that is on the board. Oh, but you said you brought it down to diff 3 because
I-
of something?
Did.
Okay. Okay. I'm still spending the 3 though.
Okay.
Do I have a focus?
It would need to be in genetics.
Nope. Okay. That's fair. Oof. Okay, Captain, would you be willing to give me your determination?
Well, I was going to ask if I can assist here with reason medicine or reason
You can.
science. Okay. And how far off are you from the target?
I,
One.
I'm. Oh, right. It's only a diff 3. Yeah. Then never mind. I don't need a determination just yet. Oh, and thank you. So 2 momentum is generated then. Never mind. No need to spend any.
Okay. 2
determination
momentum
anything.
generated. And Commander Solaris, you can either take a stress or go down.
I'll take a stress. Yeah, she, wipes some sweat off of her brow and says, "Check those numbers again, doctor. I'm not sure they line up."
Doctor, what you have here, and why it was made easier, you have the complete genetic structure of the deceased doctor.
Oh.
It matches your scans completely.
All right. So he was experimenting on himself? I
Captain,
guess I'm
with
misunderstanding.
with Tawir's question to himself, Captain, you get a your communicator starts chirping as you're
Yeah.
getting a call from Artana.
Yeah, she says, holds that line of thought, and she flips open her communicator and takes a couple steps away and says,
As you open the communicator,
Explosion.
they wish.
"Why would I wish that?"
I'm going to update.
Oh no.
Griffin, you're updated.
Yeah.
All of you stop that.
Lieutenant Revere,
Mm.
you can take 1 stress or go down.
Okay, it is my hard stop, so I guess I'll go down.
Okay. To where the lieutenant kind of gets blurry vision and then falls on the console and slumps to the ground. Dr. Tawir, you can take 1 stress or go down.
I'll take a stress.
Captain, you can take 3 stress or go down.
I guess I'll take the 3 stress. So that was
So this
1.
is, you do feel an intense pang of pain as you try to talk to Artana.
Okay, so I've taken 5 stress total now.
I think you've taken 6.
That sounds right. That sounds more right. I was just okay. Yeah, so she flips open the communicator and she puts one arm out against the wall to stabilize herself, and she says, "Aratana, what is your update?"
Well, this is Andromeda Captain. I'm checking on your status, Captain. You cited a biological hazard. Are you in the away team okay, ma'am?
And she I picture you say that, and then we hear the thunk
Bud.
of the cat hitting the console, and she turns around and says, "No, there is something in this lab. We are trying to figure out what has caused it, but we are all extremely ill in a way that is not yet apparent. Dr. Tweer has to work faster, but I cannot
And
recommend an approach at this time, for we do not know how contagious it is.
Dr. Tweer reaches over and he starts pulling Revere up, and it's like the thing where you have to grab under the cat and to lift the cat from under its arms.
Commander, I will take a momentum to point something out.
Okay, yeah, go for it.
You look up and you see some ducts opened and 3 giant industrial fans blowing air out of here at an extreme pace, and you notice a giant hole in this wall. Whatever was
ceiling or the
locked in
wall?
here. What?
In the ceiling
No,
or the wall?
the fans are pumping air out into the surrounding area, and also an explosion tore a hole in this wall.
Okay.
So while isolated right now, this is no longer a sealed environment.
Yeah, and she'll say this is not a sealed environment.
Way to go,
Smoke.
Gwendolyn.
Oh yeah, no, this is a big problem.
This is not a sealed environment. You might have to quarantine everyone in the colony. We do not know how this spreads yet, but as a precautionary measure, things might have been leaking out.
If you have a question, there's a task now sitting out for Aratana about legal rights. You do not have to take that until you're ready, but FYI, I will give you a roll, Aratana, if you have questions about that.
And what did we learn from Tweer's role?
Yeah, I was gonna say, all I really got was that something in the files matched the old man's genetic signature.
The files you read are the genetic description in computer code, in like computerized files of his genetic structure.
Huh. Okay.
Well, hold on, because they're having a conversation, and I want to let Aratana finish his half of the conversation. I just wanted him to know that legal questions, there is a role available, but you don't have to take that till you're ready.
I just had to ask because I didn't know if there's any other information I had to give him.
The main thing I'm concerned about legally is I'm presuming Starfleet has authority to declare quarantine of a planet because we control space, but
lockdown, yeah.
We just and like lift off the ship and go, this planet is now quarantined, but there's probably some local quarantine efforts that the colony will need. So I'm just trying to see what legal avenues I can suggest to Verney to go, hey, here's the things we can do. These are the things we probably should do under the law.
Insight
There's
command
also the
0.
Vulcan specific aspects that you can lend a specific ear to.
Mm-hmm.
It's a monastery, so I don't know if there's any Vulcan code. You know,
Insight command difficulty 0.
Whoops! I opened the starship. Insight command. Command.
The ship's code will help greatly.
I'll just roll flat. Oop.
It's kind of bumpy for a flat roll.
Hey, I'll take it. And none of this. So 2 hits on my end. Because I'm beginning to think we'll need to lift off the ship and sit in orbit and start calling quarantine until we know what's going on.
And the ship can be quarantined without taking off.
Yeah, but the longer we're down, the more that we're at risk of exposing the ship. That's my word. I guess we can bring up the gangplank. We're
from
still
the outside.
Yeah, we could just bring up the plank. Yeah.
Yeah. Just It's definitely airtight.
Yeah.
Spaceship?
And it's not like people are going to panic and rush the ship. It's Vulcans, so.
Yeah.
Well, very, very orderly will they rush the ship.
We think it's logical to let us in. Unfortunately, the law disagrees. Sorry.
There are two relevant general orders. The first relevant general order is that actually, sorry, there are three. You have General Order 2, which is going to require you to lend aid. You have Standing Medical Directive that gives the medical officer and captain the combined authority to declare a colony or planet quarantined. The final regulation that kind of haunts the back of your mind as something that has come up in questions of ethics and the occasional variation when they don't do the actual Kobayashi Maru, but they do it like a variation or something to keep things different. One of them is the use of General Order 24.
Oh, yeah. I was thinking the same thing.
Which one is that?
I think that's the one where you literally glass the entire planet.
Jesus.
Absolute obliteration of a threat, of an existential threat, essentially.
Nothing yet has come anywhere close to suggest that that's the warranted order. It's just anytime a biologic, a highly infectious, contagious disease comes up, it's one of the things that kind of haunts the back of a Starfleet officer's mind.
Got it. So it's this.
But right now, you need either Solaris. Inverni has no legal authority to carry out what Solaris has asked. Either Solaris has to declare it with Tawir and then give you like the directive to follow through on their orders, or they have to, both of them have to relinquish to Inverni. Inverni can't be the source of the order, can only be the carrier out of the order.
In the time that they've been discussing this, have I been able to get a handle on Revere's situation? Why did he just collapse?
Dress and smoke.
Not yet. No, you haven't gotten that during this conversation yet. Because this is only like a 10-second of Artana thinking through the regulations, because Artana's had these regulations drilled into memory as a chief of the boat.
And that's just like okay, Artana, I need you to get Captain Solaris to confirm whether or not she is issuing planetary quarantine by standing medical directive alongside Dr. Tawir.
Requesting authorization for standing medical directive from you, Captain or Doctor. Also, Captain... I will alert you that General Order 24 is getting increasingly possible.
The captain, through the smog and her increasing headache, she says, "Yes, I know what's at stake here. You have my full authority. Dr. Tawir, if you could pass your full authority, They can have it in writing after the fact.
Agreed. Better safe than sorry.
Lieutenant Inverni, a confirmation from the captain and the medical officer of the boat.
Inverni, when you go to type the order into the console to record it in the log, it asks whether or not all personnel are safe inside the vessel or a protected area, and if not, to record those individuals who are inside the contamination zone.
Recording as such.
You get an alert when you do so. Under standing medical directive issued by Captain Soloris and Dr. Tuir. Captain Soloris, Dr. Tuir, Lieutenant Revere, and Chief Specialist Griffin are considered to be in a medically unavailable state, and all of their authority is transmitted to their relevant subordinate.
Fuck.
Oh no!
Oh,
Uh-huh.
Jesus.
Yep.
Hey Conway. Hey
As-
Conway.
Congratulations, EXO.
Basically, the ship is like, they can't command. This order means they can't command the ship anymore. You have to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's, oh well, congratulations, Executive Officer Kaufman.
Yeah, I mean, I'll say now, I was planning on transferring command codes if I thought I had to, but
Yeah, Starfleet doesn't want to wait to see if you actually do the correct thing.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah, they have to assume that you're gonna cap it at any moment.
And if we're lying, that's a court-martial immediately. It's like,
Well,
yeah, don't lie about
you
this.
You needed the captain's command codes to
do
enter
it
the
anyway.
medical. Yeah, you couldn't have gotten this far without the captain's authority.
Yeah.
Hey,
It's
ship,
just
she's
like,
totally sick. Give me
"Oh."
control. Sure. Wow, this was easy.
It's like, okay. Tana, let me know the second we get any information regarding what medical supplies the captain and doctor might need to prolong their survival in the contaminated area, and we will endeavor to transport those to them if possible.
OA team, be advised. Transmit any medical necessities you require for your prolonged away team mission. We'll transport them as soon as we can.
Understood.
And
Andromeda, I could use a gas analyzer beamed to my location, if possible.
And she also requires a splint. She has a serious fracture.
As Artana and Inverni do what they can to get you supplies, as the doctor tries to figure out what happened to the engineer, Doctor, you can take a stress or go down.
I'll take a stress. Thank you very much.
Griffin, I'm sorry, not Griffin. Dr. Seto.
Dolores? Oh,
Yep.
You
Oh god damn it.
look around and find yourself in your lab, and it seems to be quite disheveled.
Do I still
Oh
look
god
back
damn it,
to
you
them?
got overwrote.
Yeah. I've been getting overwritten this entire time.
God damn it.
Do I roll
Um,
the fraction angle?
a marked improvement.
Captain, you can take 3 stress or go down.
re-stress fills my track.
You filling your track does not end you. It's 1 over.
Okay. So the captain says, I will have to assist you from outside, and the captain will have to leave here. So, sorry, am I getting damaged because of the smoke and
Your head and abdomen are racked with pain.
Okay, so yeah, the doctor or the captain is wandering out, and she's going to request a breathing apparatus from what do you call it? A controlled breathing apparatus for the three of them from the ship.
So let me-
And
right, a weird Vulcan just walked out of my lab.
yes, and that's
Uh,
where we close the episode, and we will catch up next week in part 2.
And the lesson here is you should play Kowtow and not go wandering into strange buildings.
I think the lesson here is you shouldn't blow up things
God damn it.
to expedite problem solving.
But yes,
Look.
for all of you watching out there, thank you very much for watching. For those of you playing and running, thank you very much for doing so. And next time, we have 2 people who control a ship and a bunch of new characters. No, they'll probably be fine. We'll probably save them.
No. Wait, I think we have 1 new character 4 times.
But yeah, we'll see you next time. Have a good one. Bye. I'm glad we didn't go in, Bernie. I'm so glad. We went to the safety of an air-controlled ship, so.
Yeah.
Yup. Oh man.
I was sitting there
And
being
I
like,
was
wait a second, we've got no reason to go to the ship. When he was like, Diff,
And
I was like, wait.
I was
was
thinking
like-
that too before
I was
he
like,
knew
oh
that.
no, Griffin's not gonna open the danger room. And then Griffin was like, but I shoot the thing that has an independent power supply that's been running
next
this
to the
whole
danger
time
room.
next to the danger room. And I'm like, yes. And then even then I'm like, I don't know how far this is gonna spread. It might be isolated. And